Hello everybody and welcome to the PWC Monday Night Machismo. It is a special Tuesday morning edition of the Machismo. I am your host Jimmy T. The vet, Jamie Williams, is my co-host. Vet, what's going on, man? And what time is it in your neck of the woods?
It is currently 5:22 in the AM.
Shit, no shit. Fuck. Wow. Well, it's currently for me 12:22 AM. Damn, that's hard, vet, man.
The next day.
Yeah, the next
It's
day.
already tomorrow.
Thought,
What's
right?
going to happen in the future, Jimmy? I need to make some bets and buy some lottery tickets.
Hey, I called it. The Kansas City Swifties ended up winning the Super Bowl just like everybody else called it, right?
Yeah, we're all geniuses.
I mean, seriously, this is the most obvious friggin' Super Bowl ever, I think. And it does make you think, I mean, is it fixed?
Yeah, I haven't been thinking that it wasn't for a long, long time. But they tried to make it exciting, you know? They scripted it right down to the last play. So, very exciting.
Well, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs on another Super Bowl win. But anyway, we got Arzol in the house. Morning, everyone. What's going on? And I'm just happy that you guys are tuning in at this early hour. And Darkside Cast is also in the house. Morning. Good morning to y'all. Because I think for the very rare times, we're all in the AM, actually, at this point. Vet, who would have thought? Yeah. I don't even exist.
You don't exist, but somehow... Well, you're also in the future. You don't exist on Tuesday. It's Wednesday there. So happy Valentine's Day.
Shit, it is too. Happy Valentine's Day, man. Damn, already. I mean, seriously, it's just a money grab, Vet. Let's be honest, dude. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they're grabbing it. Well, isn't everything a money grab? What are we doing on Earth if we're not trying to grab some money?
Oh, that's a fair point, man. And happy Valentine's Day to everyone in my neck of the woods, I guess. Not to you guys just yet.
Oh, yeah. Don't you guys start trying to have a happy Valentine's Day just yet. Okay, not so fast.
And Aaron Ben Shlomo has also joined us saying, hello, everybody. Just arrived home from work and almost ended with one of the best podcasting team in Jimmy and the Vet. Why, thank you, Aaron. You're always too kind. And what time is it in your neck of the woods, Aaron? I'm going to assume about 5 p.m., 4 p.m., around that time. But anyway, Vet, we're here to talk another glorious, well, no, I won't say glorious, but a decent episode. No Bobby Roode. Well, he's an agent now. Lucky him, I guess. True. But it is another edition of WWE Monday Night Raw. And it's funny because, speaking of Valentine's Day, I did name this episode, I Will Be Your Shield. I mean, yeah.
A shield can be vaguely heart-shaped, I guess, if you look at it from a certain angle or forge it a certain way.
It can be any shape you want it to be. If you want it to be a love heart, sure, you can. I couldn't help but notice,
especially when you're an architect.
And a revolutionary too. I mean, come on. I mean, he's everything apparently, and we'll get to that segment soon. But what a week it's been in wrestling. I guess it's quieting down after last week though, Vet, and we're just back for the run to Elimination Chamber, and more importantly, to the run to WrestleMania. And I'm still confused. I mean, now with all the promotions going around, Vet, does this mean that we're going to have night 1 of WrestleMania a tag match, night 2 a title match? So I'm thinking Cody and Seth at Mania versus Rock, and Reigns night 1, since Punk is out of the question, which I guess frees up that spot in some ways. And then night 2 we have Cody versus Roman for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship, which would be, I guess, kind of fair because both guys would have wrestled back-to-back nights. So do you think that's where we're going?
I don't know. It's possible. Something they could do. I don't know if it would satisfy the people. I think if you're having a 2-night event, that gives you a lot of possibilities, but then everybody's going to ask. Whatever ends up going on last, people are going to say, well, why didn't this go on last? Why didn't Becky and Rhea go on last on night 1? Or, you know, everything that doesn't happen, people are going to have questions about. So, I don't know. I don't know if the tag team match is the thing to do, Playa. I'm just not sure. It seems like they're leaning towards it, or are they just teasing it, and then they're gonna pull a switcheroo again? I mean, they've got a lot of possibilities, none of which are going to fully satisfy everybody, I don't think.
No, good point. And I mean, look, I'm just going by the advertisements because we seem to get a WrestleMania sort of package during Raw, which pretty much promotes the four of them. So I'm taking that like that's where we're going. Now I'm starting to doubt Elimination Chamber is the event that's going to happen. I just don't see it. I don't know, man. I mean, hopefully for me, it doesn't happen because now I've decided I doubt I'll end up going unless something changes my mind. I'm not sure yet, but it's a lot of money to
It's
go
going
to
to be
something
more
that,
money if you try to go last second.
I'm already screwed, bro, regardless. But the thing is, man, I feel like so far right now, let's be honest, right? Elimination Chamber seems pretty weak moving forward right now. And if that's the case, I mean, that's kind of a little spit in the face to the Perth fans. But look, I could be wrong. Maybe it's going to be... Look, we'll see what happens, I guess, Friday night. That's when we get the announcement, I'm assuming. But I don't know. Like the professor says, don't analyze it, Jimmy. Let it play out on TV. What up, Professor? Well, I am.
Professor.
I am letting it out.
The
That
professor.
I was going to do the same thing. That Professor. Like, that wreckage.
Mhm.
But anyway, I don't know, Vet. I'm confused still, a little confused. I mean, we've got a knight in shining armor in Seth Rollins to Cody. This match is surely going to happen, sooner rather than later.
Here's a question that I wonder. Because so The Rock comes out like a SmackDown ago and ruins everything. And then
Correct.
they sort of like immediately pivot where he's on a radio show trying to get Cody Crybabies over as his latest weak ass catchphrase, right?
Hashtag Cody Crybabies.
Right. And cussing all over the place and embarrassing himself, right? Because they
Two
show that
chicken
clip.
nuggets, bro.
Yeah, they show that clip on Raw, which I hadn't seen that part before. When I saw the clip originally,
Right.
somebody had edited around all that and just got to the Cody Crybabies part. So he does that. And so I'm thinking like, okay, so now people are upset. He's got the Cody Crybabies, we'll call them. But now that Cody is back in the main event, now what do we call like the people who are now just only jumping on the bandwagon because they heard The Rock was going to get a match, and now they're mad that The Rock isn't supposedly going to get a match? What does that make them? What is their version of the... I'm not going to pretend like I'm some genius like Brian Gewirtz and be able to come up with something. There is an R word that I'd like to call those people, but we don't say that word anymore. But yeah, but here's what my point is. What I was thinking is like all these people that come out of the woodwork, casual wrestling fans, don't watch the product, hear that The Rock is going to be at WrestleMania. All of a sudden they pretend they're interested. What does it really matter to those people? Like seriously, what does it matter if Dwayne Johnson has a fake wrestling match at WrestleMania? Why are they interested in that? Why does it have to be a match? The fact that he's involved at all creates a lot of the intrigue around the event. It's part of the promotion. Does it really matter if he gets down to his little trunks and oils up and like goes out there and throws himself at Roman for 20 minutes? Is that what those people that are fans of The Rock really interested in seeing? Do they care about wrestling? And if they do, why aren't they watching it every week? There's guys constantly having wrestling matches. So if they care about a wrestling match, why aren't they watching? Why aren't they following the story? Why don't they want to see Cody finishes his story? Do you see what I'm saying? It's weird how I don't get casual wrestling fans, because if you take away the actual base, like the core of the product, which is simulated sports, if you take that away, what are you really looking at? You're looking at shiny men on the microphone being mean to each other. why is that interesting? I don't get what's interesting about that. You kind of have to have all the elements working together to have a truly, to satisfy like the true wrestling fan, I think. Like, we like all of that stuff. We like the action, we like the promos, we like the characters, we like the angles, we like the presentation, we like, the music, the spectacle, we like all those things, the humor at times when necessary. We like all of those things. But if you actually take the wrestling matches out of it, which everybody says, who cares about wrestling matches? Then if the casual fans don't care about wrestling matches, why does it matter if The Rock gets in the ring at WrestleMania? That's my question.
It's funny, dude. I'm going back a little bit about, if you break down wrestling for what it is, I've asked myself that question, why the fuck am I so into it the way I am, right? A million times, believe me. But to answer your other question, there are a lot of fans on the Twitter, especially, that are in uproar about The Rock not being in the main event, or so-called not in the main event at WrestleMania, and going back to Cody. Believe me when I tell you, it's not just hashtag we want Cody. At one stage, hashtag we want Rock was also trending. They never brought that up on WWE television, but it was trending. And there are those fans out there that are vocal about it. And look, you're right. Maybe he will not wrestle. Maybe he will just be part of the, the story. But if that's the case, just say, does that mean he screws Cody if we get that scenario? Just say he's in the corner of Roman Reigns.
I don't know. I'm not even really interested in that. Like, whatever the outcome is, or how they get around to the match, or to me, I thought it would be best for everybody, looking at it from a total business perspective. If they can just with one fell swoop, sort of we'll end what we call the bloodline. We're not going to end all the guys in it. Obviously, they're going to go on and their careers will continue. But this whole thing about head of the table and everybody do whatever, like, that needs to get to another step. We've done everything we can do at this point. And Cody has the best, I think he has the most satisfying end to the most people. Because he's never been a champion. His father was never the champion. That's the story. They have family connections going back to when Dusty was in NXT with these guys and all. Like, we know the story, and he's never done it. And so it would be great to have a big stage for Cody to be a first time, to end Roman's reign, let him move on to new things, let Cody move on to whatever. Cody could lose the belt on Raw the next night. No one cares. As long as he has his moment, that's fine. And then we can progress from there. I think that's the best, because every other option, including The Rock, assuming it would be for a championship or whatever, but everybody else has won that title many, many times. Randy Orton multiple times, John Cena, Edge, everybody that's come and tried, Daniel Bryan, everybody that tried to beat Roman over the years and stuff, most of them have had championship reigns,
No, spot on.
And so that's just how I feel about it. So for those people that have been kind of following Cody for the past 2 years and everything he's done before in WWE, his journey outside of WWE, all those people, a lot of them have been invested the whole way. But even if you're just WWE fans, if you remember him from before, or if you're a kid who just started watching after Cody left, he comes back. Obviously, he's a very popular character, sells a lot of merchandise. And so new fans are liking him. Older fans are liking him. People in between are liking him. Yeah, not everybody will like him, but, very popular. But those people are all invested. They're all invested. And then The Rock shows up, and in 2 weeks, we're just going to say, hey, screw everything you guys were doing, and we're doing this. And now all these other fans are like, yeah, Rock, that they're not. Who cares if those guys don't get what they want? They just showed up. It's like showing up. It's like showing up late, at right before the end of the movie, and now you're bothering everybody in the theater saying, "Hey, what happened? Hey, what happened? I missed all this. What happened? What's happening?" Like, nobody has time for that. Get lost. I don't care what you want. Nobody cares what you want. That's basically how I feel about it.
No, that was a great way of putting it. Actually, very passionate too. I like it, and. Look, now after you saying all that, man, it makes me realize what type of mess we're actually really in. Like when you really think about it, it is absolutely pretty messy, and it didn't need to be this messy. Everything was on the path. It was a straight path. There was no sort of, there was no right turn, there's no left turn, there was no U-turn. We were just going straight to WrestleMania with Cody. It should have been done last year, whether people want to agree with it or not, but the proof is in the pudding, as we've said a million times. Look at the timeline. Look at the Bloodline storyline since WrestleMania last year. It's been flat. There's been no real storyline.
I still don't know what Jimmy Uso is doing.
Neither do I. Why did he quit? When you think about it, how dumb is that?
Yeah, and how many times can Solo stand there with his arms folded and then lose to the guy who's about to challenge Roman Reigns? Like, how many times can they just repeat that pattern?
You're right. I feel like they're overexposing Solo now a lot, and I feel like they need to just stop with Solo. Just look, man. This Bloodline thing needs to be cut ASAP. And it's now. Now's the time to do it. If they're going to go somehow where we're going to wait another year for Cody, you know what they're going to end up doing? I doubt we're going to get that, but I'm hoping with everything that we don't. Because there's a possibility. If they do it again, everyone is screwed. Cody's done. The Rock, no one will give a shit anyway because, it's his fault. Roman, they'll just boo him because how long do you want the belt for? And, Cody's still not the champ. And Rollins, after that little press conference, he's nothing but second rate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
And the question still stands. Why do people need The Rock to be in a phony wrestling match?
You're right.
Like, why do they need that? Why, why does he have to strip down, lace up the boots? Why is that itself? Yeah. Why does that need to happen? I don't understand why they needed it so bad.
Mind you, he's in his 50s for crying out loud. Do we really need to see him in, all oiled up and shit? Oh, he's not 50.
I mean, we did see R-Truth last night, so that's,
dude. We'll get to that. Like, yeah, there's no one better at anyone's age than R-Truth right now, dude. But anyway, look, we'll see. The path is very messy, like I said, and we'll see where they go. I guess we'll find out more this coming Friday on SmackDown. But anyway, let's start though with Raw, because we start off with a three-way or six-man tag between Imperium in Giovanni Vinci, Gunther, and Ludwig Kaiser versus the main event in Jey Uso and New Day in Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. This was a pretty fun match, I guess, man. I felt like it could have been a little better. I'm just sick of the New Day at this point, dude. I don't know, man. I feel like they need to repackage these guys. I doubt even Big E's ever coming back. I mean, I just don't see it because I just don't think mentally he's ever going to be ready for that, man. You know what I mean? And it's not his fault, obviously, but we'll see what happens there. But nevertheless, Jey Uso and New Day win by pinfall with a diving splash from Jey onto Giovanni Vinci. What do you think of the match, Vet?
I was in and out on it, but I did see one thing I didn't like that I saw was the part where Jey and Walter got in there and were pie facing each other and shoving each other, and the match already started, guys. You just do whatever you want. We don't have to act like this is sort of like a press conference where we're supposed to be professional and we're wearing our suits and we're not supposed to fight before the big fight. Now the bell has already, they rang the bell already. So you're allowed to get at him, even if, he's not particularly the legal man at the moment. That never stops him before. So that was just a little weird how they were trying to the ref is like, hey, what are you guys that are in a match against each other doing? Stop this.
Nice. What else I noticed, actually, the ref didn't give a shit about any outside interference or shenanigans. He just stood there, didn't even bother counting. It was eerily reminiscent of AEW reffing.
Yeah. Convenient ref.
He wasn't even reacting. Right. And
when Jey Uso and Walter were trying to get at each other, he was right in there to break it up. Hey, no light shoving, guys. Don't lightly shove each other. We got to put a stop to that.
And that's the thing, Vet. We don't want WWE going this way as well, dude. Like where the refs just, because, you know, they've got a lot of, I use this term lightly, but kind of self-respect in terms of how they're presented on television as a pro wrestling sports entertainment company, whatever you want to call it. And now I just feel like when all this shit is happening all over the ring, the refs are just standing there like doing nothing, like literally just standing there. I guess it is what it is. We're going to have 6-man. Look, if it's going to be like this, at least just say there's a bit more openness to a 6-man tag team match. That way I don't have to shit on it. You know what I mean? But I can't help but just pay attention to the ref at times and thinking, what the fuck is he doing? But you're right. I was going in and out of this match. I did watch it twice. I initially watched it live, and then I went over it again just to sort of, you know, just in case I missed anything. And again, during the same sort of spots, I was in and out. You know what I mean? But the match picked up a bit later. No, not so much. More like power of the computer this time. I was going kind of back and forth with the PC, yeah, while watching it in the background. But yeah, it is what it is. Nevertheless, Jay and New Day win. Does Jay have a realistic chance at getting this Intercontinental Championship next week, I believe, on Raw?
Yeah, so it's next week is when it's happening?
Next week. That's from what I saw, yeah.
Oh, hell no. No.
No chance?
No, I thought they were trying to build up a Mania match at first. If this is just going to be on Raw, then no, he's not winning.
Yeah, next week they announced it. I don't know if you remember how we see, you might have not saw this, but we see the New Day and Jey Uso in the back, and, you know, they're talking to one of the what's it called? You know, the backstage women. What's her name again? What's the new
Jackie Redmond?
That's it. Jackie Redmond. She's pretty hot, actually. I'll give her that. Yeah, she was talking to them, and she announced that Jey Uso will be getting a title match, Intercontinental title match, that is next week on Raw. I would have at least wanted this at Elimination Chamber, right?
Yeah, you'd think, but nobody wants to go to Perth, including you.
No, that's true. No one, trust me, bro. The whole East Coast don't want to go to Perth.
Yeah. Well, if you like Jackie Redmond, she's Canadian and a hockey fan, and you can see her more on her own.
She's Canadian.
She has a hockey show, and one of her guests on her hockey shows on YouTube was CM Punk. So if you want to see CM Punk sit down and talk for 20-30 minutes about hockey and wrestling with Jackie Redmond, go give her show a follow. I forget what it's called, but I'm sure if you just search Jackie Redmond CM Punk, you'll get the episode.
I knew she did an ice hockey show, as a matter of fact, a podcast. And I know CM Punk is a big Hawks fan, which I like the Chicago Blackhawks also, as a matter of fact. I mean, I don't follow hockey like religiously or anything like that, but I don't mind watching it if it's on television. Actually, there was an NHL game here just a few weeks ago in Melbourne between the LA Kings and Arizona, I think. Yeah.
Well, shit,
one or the other.
The home team?
It's a good question. I don't know who the fuck the home team was, but it was a sellout, dude. I wanted to go, but yeah.
They're probably just getting in there to escape the heat.
Well, they came during the fucking heat, and yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, in the ice rink though, it's going to be cold in there, so this is the best place to cool off.
It would have been actually awesome, man. But yeah, Jackie Redmond, Canadian, right? They love their Canadian women as backstage sort of hostess.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
What's up with that? Damn Canadians.
I don't know. I mean, hockey players hold a stick. They call the microphone the stick. A lady can hold the stick. You know, maybe
are they private parts?
Better suited to it.
Are they private part sticks also?
I don't know, Jimmy. We might need to get a stack of NDAs to continue this conversation.
Nice. Touche. Well, anyway, after that, we get a little sort of... this is AEW reminiscent for me. But anyway, the little vignette of Andrade El Idolo, where he talks about how life has shown him he has to decide as he talks about his love of this business, and how WWE was the next step from NXT champion to United States champion, but his titles weren't enough, and he had to leave to remember who he was and his mask.
You sounded like your impression makes it sound like Andrade is French. Andrade is actually Mexican for everybody listening here.
Oui.
Yeah.
Au revoir, monsieur. Idalou.
Gets my baguette.
Yeah, instead of his mask, his baguette.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah, I can't do it justice. Chris does that justice. But doesn't this feel like AEW all over again with this vignette?
A little bit, except better, obviously.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'm really like. Well, first of all, I like Andrade. I always have.
Absolutely.
I'm proud of him and how far his English has come since. You remember when he first was trying to talk English, right?
Oh boy.
You know, like that was pretty rough, and now he's actually pretty good. So they didn't even subtitle him here, so that was good. Like, so shout outs to Andrade for working hard. And he's back where he belongs, and hopefully we'll see some big things from him in the future, because we already know he can deliver. Whatever place on the card you put him on, you know he can give you a main event match, an opening match, a mid match. You know he can give you whatever you want. So now the question is, they just got to give him that presentation that he deserves. So we'll see if they do it.
I agree too, but I just feel like they're stalling already a little bit, dude. Like they're showing all these vignettes. You know, we already know about Andrade. At the end of the day, I was kind of not surprised, really, but he started wrestling from 13 years old, and they showed a picture of him at 13 with his mask over his head. And man, 13 years old, that's crazy, bro. He's a third-generation wrestler anyway, right?
He's at least a second. I don't.
Oh, definitely second.
I don't know his whole lineage, but yeah. Well, I don't know. People say, you know, like if he just comes back, people are like, oh, why are we supposed to care about this guy? Like, you know, and then if you give him a vignette, it's like, well, they're stalling. So, you know, nobody can do anything right. But I just grading what we had in front of us, I thought the vignette itself was good.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. It's true. We can only grade what we have in front of us. And that takes us to the next match, Vet, because I'm a little disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I was a bit sort of torn, really. But it's Bobby Lashley versus Big Bronson Reed in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. And now these two guys are just two big behemoths. But obviously, Lashley gets to win by pinfall via spear, qualifying for the Elimination Chamber. Vet, what does this mean now for Big Bronson Reed? And now he doesn't get a marquee match in his home country of Australia at Elimination Chamber. Does that mean he's just going to be on the pre-show or whatever they do? I mean, I don't see him in any meaningful match in Perth.
Yeah, I guess when you put it that way, it's a curious decision. I don't know why you had to. I mean, like, you look at this Elimination Chamber qualifier, and big names are just getting knocked out left and right. Like, you had Drew McIntyre qualify over AJ Styles. So just see you later, AJ Styles. You know, like, that's kind of a, you know. But I guess that speaks to the depth that they have, because they've got a lot of people. Now, if you want to talk about a big name, Bobby Lashley is certainly a bigger name, but
absolutely,
like you said, the hometown appeal of a Bronson Reed. But I guess, I mean, you know, he's not going to win it. I guess it's okay just to show up. I mean, how do you look at it? And then what are they doing with Bobby Lashley anyway? Like, I don't like anything that they're doing right now. I don't like the Street Profits in this. I don't like Bobby Lashley in this. They're still acting like dickish heels, and yet they're supposed to be baby faces because they're going against even bigger heels. Like, who are these guys and what are they doing? I don't understand it, and I don't like it. And they don't know either. They can't figure out how to book. They can't figure out how to book Bobby Lashley, because you can't have a guy like that and not just have him beat everybody, because he would for a shoot. But then you don't want him to be the guy, so what do?
Stupid, bro. And you know what's sadder, actually? The Profits and Lashley, and heck, even B-Fab, they've got no chemistry, dude. They just don't, man.
None.
I don't know if the Profits are kind of starstruck. I know it's dumb with me saying this, but what I mean by starstruck, they're almost like, it seems like they kind of mark out around Lashley, dude, and it's just, and in turn, it's just.
I just think they don't know what they're supposed to do.
How can it be so no direction or any chemistry with these guys? I mean, surely they'd be talking, right? I mean,
Well, they don't understand. Can you imagine being handed that gimmick and then trying to make sense of it?
that's a good point. I mean,
It
look, doesn't make sense.
Some people, okay, so put it this way. Some people can run a restaurant with only lemons and chicken shit, okay? These guys can't.
They're very talented, not these guys, right? And it's sad, dude.
It doesn't mean that the Street Profits aren't good. It doesn't mean that Bobby Lashley isn't good. It means that whatever they're doing is not good for them, and they don't know how to get it over, and no one knows how to explain it to them how they should get it over. It's weird. It's just fitting a square peg in a round hole, and that's just how I feel about it, and it's very confusing.
They should have just rebranded it as the Hurt Business 2.0. I mean, come on, man. If they did that,
done it. Why don't Street Profits
right.
just still be a tag team? Why don't Bobby Lashley be on his own? Another thing is, so like, correct me if I'm wrong, but did Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed already have like a feud like last year?
If it was very brief, dude.
I bet the professor would know.
If you're still listening, man, let us know. Someone in the chat, let us know. Look, man, I've watched that much wrestling over the years, especially the last couple of years.
And if it wasn't Lashley, who am I thinking of? Because I remember
there was the Valhalla. There was the Valhalla feud.
Yeah, not that. Not that.
I think, he did. I think he did, dude. I remember him at one stage, he was walking around in the suit, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
But he did feud with, what's his name from Alpha Academy? They were teasing, what's it called, dude? Friggin', what's the big guy's name again, dude? Every time we're live, I go blank.
Otis,
that's it.
Otis?
How do I forget his name? Otis. If you remember, they were sort of teasing him and Bronson Reed being a tag team kind of thing, but it went nowhere anyway. So, but there might have been a match or two, though, with Bobby Lashley. Someone needs a refresh, so definitely. Anyway, what's with the name they were going to go with? I mean, I heard they were going to call them the Pride because they're all a bunch of lions. But you know what else the Pride means also?
Mm-hmm.
And then they've gone back on it already.
Oh.
Yep.
Well,
literally.
whatever it is.
See what I mean? It sucks and just ended already. This is embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's bad for everyone. But anyway, that's that matchup. Lashley wins. He goes on to Elimination Chamber in Perth, while Bronson Reed, I guess, has nothing to do. As a matter of fact, the local press have written heartache for local WWE talent. I kid you not, over here. I just saw it right before we went live. I'm like, oh, come on. These people, man. I swear, the Australian media about wrestling is laughable, bro. It's almost like they take it so serious. But anyway, we come back from commercial, though. We get a media hype reel for WrestleMania XL or 40 at the kickoff press conference. As we see the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes makes his entrance and gets on the mic. He asks what we want to talk about, and he says we could talk about how he's going to be challenging Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania 40. He gives us credit for being able to say that and says we made our voices heard a full week trending worldwide, spreading the word, and the word was we want Cody, and the chants start going up saying we want Cody. He says he doesn't know how to repay us before saying there is one way, and he gets it. He's a passionate guy about this place and his part in it, and he's often wearing his heart on his sleeve, but he doesn't want to become emotional lest he become a crybaby. This gets Rocky Sucks chants after that, and we were all saying we wanted Cody, but there was only one man who didn't want to hear it, and that man happens to be the most famous man alive, a potential presidential candidate, and the man who coined the term Cody Crybabies. And he tosses to the footage of The Rock on Pat McAfee show, disparaging Cody's fans. Cody says promos are different than they used to be, and a few people can match The Rock. A few people can match The Rock on the microphone, but he has to ask, what are we supposed to do with these nuggets? He asks Pat McAfee for clarity, who informs him that he's meant to, put him up his ass. And Cody tells us not to mistake his sort of, his kindness for weakness. and he calls The Rock out for slapping him in the face in public. Basically, he says, since you hit me, I'm going to hit back. And then we get Seth Rollins coming out doing his usual shtick. I don't know if I'm going to go through the whole friggin' thing, but essentially, Seth Rollins is just, putting Cody up on the pedestal. You got to finish this story, not just for him, but for us, Vet, for the listeners, for the viewers, and for everybody all across the world. And to cut a long story short, as I said at the start of the show, he'll be Cody's Shield. How appropriate. Love is in the air, Vet.
That's right. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. And a mic drop, too.
Yeah, a mic drop. So, yeah. Well, we did get one of those. We did get a Seth Rollins laugh. Yeah, we got one.
He's coming down a little bit on the laughs. Dee actually pointed that out. She's got a point, actually.
Because he's not supposed to be a heel anymore. But then again, on the other hand, he's very much pivoting from what he said before. He goes from, you need to forget all about that title and challenge me for a real title. And now he's like, nah, you got to finish your story. I get it. I don't know. He should have just said, I'm sorry, Cody. I was full of shit a couple weeks ago. I just thought, maybe you and me, but nah. One thing. Okay, here's what I didn't like. Cody said, the thing about Rock put his hands on him, right? And he's gonna do it back. Well, you had your chance at the press conference and you didn't. So that
pussy.
I would have just because that played out the way it did, I would have just sidestepped that whole thing in this promo and just not really mentioned me getting you back. It's like, because then it's like, well, that's the first thing that pops in everybody's mind,
right?
Like, why didn't you? You were there,
right?
So
no, it's true.
Yeah, that's just a little thing. Don't as a babyface, don't put anything in your promo that's going to make you look like you're an idiot or you're weak or anything like that. You don't want to give anybody any ammunition. He's already got plenty of, people, Rock fans pointing their social media ammunition at him. So you don't need to give them anything to work with. So that's just a nitpick, but I still think it's valuable advice. And then Seth Rollins, like you said, he does his thing. Total 180 from what he was saying earlier. Now he's just with Cody, and not only that, but he's offering himself as an ally. But again, I'm sorry, is your MCL damaged or not? I don't understand why you're in a position to be fighting anybody unless this injury is a work the whole time. Like, is this just a working injury, just like his back?
The back was totally a work. That's
so. What are we saying here? Like, at first he's telling us he's not going to make it to WrestleMania for sure, but he's going to try, and now he's just saying like, "Hey, I'll fight these two jacked up Samoan guys with you.
I'll be your Huckleberry." That's basically what he's saying.
Why don't you just kick him in the knee? Then you're done with Seth Rollins. Well, he doesn't sell it anyway, so I guess it's probably just as dangerous regardless. Nothing has ever stopped Seth Rollins' knee from working, so I don't see why an MCL tear would be any different.
Right, he's just going to laugh it off. And then he's back to normal.
But in summary, though, what we look forward to basically on Raw is it seems like we just look forward to some permutation of Cody, Drew, Seth, Punk, whatever combination they throw out there. And like, we're just looking for that because that promo segment in the ring is usually like the highlight of the show. So this was that, probably the weakest one we've gotten so far, but still it was fine. I think it's just not as satisfying because like we've already been talking about for 30, 40 minutes, we don't know where things are going because it's a mess right now. So
yeah,
we need to iron some things out, smooth some things over so that these promos can, make a little more sense.
Well, you bring up an interesting point, though, about Seth Rollins' injury being possibly a work say. From what I've heard, like I said, this is just allegedly, this is speculation. This is not fact. I'm just putting it out there. It's just what the dirt sheets are reporting, which already you need to take with a grain of salt. but supposedly he's recovering a lot faster than usual, and he could be possibly ready to go even by Elimination Chamber. And to me, right now, he looks like he's moving pretty well, man. There's no hiccup. There's no nothing. Sure, he hasn't really gotten his hands dirty. But is there a possibility it is a work? And if it is, why? It doesn't make sense.
It's possible that it's a work. It may not be 100% of a work. It may just be that they reported that it was a more severe injury than it was, just to cast some doubt, like make it seem like he's a hero making a comeback, even though it wasn't that bad, like it could be that.
Right.
It could be nothing at all. Like maybe that knee injury in the match with Jinder was just him working, maybe. Or maybe it is legit and he's really making progress and it's all just a big coincidence. Now you pick which one of the three you think. And I'm talking to everybody listening out there, which, you pick your favorite version of whichever of these possibilities it is and go with that, because we're not going to know for sure.
Either way, it was never that serious, clearly, man, because he wouldn't be walking on it. And I think he's going to be ready to go. I just think they're taking it day by day for now. Whether it's Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania, I guarantee you he'll be back by WrestleMania the latest. No ifs or buts about it, man. But anyway, do you feel that it kind of left Cody looking sort of lost after this promo? Like he's just standing in the ring contemplating and shit. Like, what's it to contemplate? He said he's got your back. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, do you want him to have your back? You don't want him to have your back? Like, what is he thinking? You know what I mean? But
I think the political intrigue part of this, where you're talking about guys, a lot of the promo is focused on how much power these guys have. True. And how much stroke these guys have, how much weight they carry in the company, which we know we know it because we know what The Rock's position is or whatever. But they don't always talk about that stuff on the air with the fans. But I think a lot of them can understand what they're talking about. They certainly know that The Rock is a big figure in Hollywood, at least, even if they don't know anything about the board of directors thing or whatever. There's really nothing that Seth Rollins, the character, can do if it's not like a fight, because these guys have enough supposed stroke to just have people removed from the company altogether.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if you have a pro, if you have a pro wrestler that's got your back in a fight, that may not matter here, because the actual Game of Thrones that's going on here is where Cody's really in trouble. It's not so much from a beating. It's from the fucking politics. Exactly. So it's kind of weird to be like, Seth ain't gonna protect him from politics. And that's what Cody needs the Shield for.
That's when he's really all the way. Especially that he's a Triple H guy. And believe me, there's conspiracies going around that Triple H is purposely doing this to Cody because of AEW and all this shit. The fact that freaking fans bring this shit up is laughable to me. Because I don't think it's just not the case. You know what I mean? But because I truly feel, and I'm sure you feel the same way, Triple H has got Cody's back and has tried to have Cody's back. Mm-hmm. But like you said, the powers that be or whatever's going on in the back with all the politics, it's kind of crazy, dude. So, and it's still a political game as we speak. What will be the end game for Cody Rhodes? It should be real simple, but it's not. There's a lot of hiccups right now for him, but I still think he should finish his story. Let's hope. Anyway,
I'll say one thing.
Go for it.
If I'm not going to speak for Triple H, but like assuming that I were somehow in the Triple H position, if I was that guy, me personally, and I had a guy that was in another company, that, used one of my gimmicks to smash another one of my gimmicks on their pay-per-view or on their show.
Yeah.
Not only would I endorse that, but I might even suggest something like that, because I'm not going to take it that personally. I'm like, hey, What if you, why don't you smash a throne? You know, like, why don't you do that? That'd be cool. You know, like, that'll get you over with them. You know, like, I wouldn't care. It's not gonna hurt me. Nobody thought a
it's
second.
stupid.
Nobody thought a second less of Triple H. So, but that's just me. You know, we know Triple H has been petty in the past, but I think
I was gonna
we
say.
think it's a different Triple H now. Maybe there's a little bit of pettiness, but I don't think it's. I think he can kind of see at this point with a bird's eye view. I think he's really looking at the whole future of the company and not just his own selfishness anymore.
Well, you talk about Triple H's pettiness. I mean, if you do remember, he did have a little comeback to Cody with the throne gimmick. Do you remember when he one of the NXT PLEs where he was sitting on his throne and he had Cody's head while still in AEW on a stake, like beheaded? Do you remember that?
No, I must have missed it.
Oh, I got to show you. I'm pretty sure I should be able to find it. But yeah, he did that, dude. He really did that. And I was like,
Well,
look at this
tit
guy.
for tat.
Tit for tat, man. And it looked cool. And you could notice Cody's head, and he was literally like, he chopped his head off, essentially. And it's pretty funny. It wasn't that long ago when you think about it. So, you know, oh, here we go. I found it. I'll show you quickly, Vet. You're going to laugh. Because this is how petty he can get. Actually, I'll just share the screen so I can just point it out so everyone can see it if anyone doesn't remember. But here we go. Check this out. Do you see Cody's head on the left? It's not a good shot, but it is definitely Cody's head.
Oh, okay. I mean, was this like on the show or is this just a picture that went out there?
No. It was on the show. It was on a NXT PLE. Just after when Cody did it, Triple H did it. And if you can get the video, you'll see it clearly, man. But that is 100% Cody's head. The other two are skulls. That's Cody's face kind of melted and sort of becoming like a skull. But yeah, it's pretty funny. That was, yeah, back in 2019, I believe it was. But yeah. So yeah, Triple H can still be petty. Don't worry about that. Whether he holds a grudge on it, I doubt it. But I'm sure his ego was a little bit hurt, shall we say. But anyway, we'll see what happens, Vet. We can go so many different roads. What I wouldn't mind happening, though, if he does get screwed out, Vet, by some chance, I want him to be angry on the next Raw. Like, come out and just lash out at Triple H. Lash out at all the bullshit, all the politics that's going on, where he's just lost it, bro. You know what I mean?
He's
Just
gonna do a
angry.
Bret Hart 97?
You know what? It would work with Cody, dude. I think it could. I mean, think about it. It's not similar, but it's kind of similar just because of the politics. Sure, he's not going to... I mean, in a way, he's getting screwed. If he doesn't win the championship, let's be real. Is he not getting screwed? But except the only difference is he knows he's getting screwed. Like, it's a work. Mm-hmm. But it's a work shoot in a way, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe they can... well, there's, like I said, there's some... We don't really get into the depth of it because it's not really what we want to do, and it's not our job, and they're getting paid to do it, and we shouldn't be doing their job for them. But like, I'm sure if we sat down, we could make a whole podcast out of just all the better ideas we could come up with for how they could, you know, write the rest of this story and finish it. It'd probably be way better than anything they would do.
100%. And Dark Side Custer says, interesting. I mean, come on, you can turn this shit pretty good if you really want. If you're going to go the shit way, at least make him get his heat back, where he's just on a run to destroy the whole bloodline one by one, bro. He takes out Solo, takes out fucking Jimmy, takes out Roman eventually. Maybe someone pointed out, have you seen O'Shea Jackson on Twitter actually, Vet?
Yes, a little bit.
Have you seen how he loves professional wrestling, but his thing is that Cody should finish he's stupid. And I like him, but he thinks he should finish his story at Survivor Series. Get this, and he will tell us why, and I'll tell you why. Because of the significance with Starrcade. Wasn't Starrcade first started to go head-to-head with Survivor Series as a Thanksgiving pay-per-view? Then later on, it moved to December, at the end of December. But initially, it was to rival Survivor Series. And he's saying it's at MSG, Madison Square Garden, Survivor Series. What better way for Cody to end his story, but in MSG where his dad couldn't do it, and at Survivor Series where Starrcade was the original sort of show to go head to head with Survivor Series. Does that make any sense to you?
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. And if they don't, if they do the switcheroo at WrestleMania again, then they're gonna have to do that.
The heat would be gone by then, though, I think, if they do that.
I don't know. I thought the heat would be gone by now, but he managed to keep it.
True, and that's to his credit. Well, if they do that, could they? Nah, they wouldn't do it. It's WWE. There's no way they'll put a WCW pay-per-view ahead of theirs, where Survivor Series becomes Starrcade for that weekend only, and have Cody win at Starrcade at Madison Square Garden. I mean, that would be a big deal.
Last time we had a Starrcade, it was an untelevised house show on the fucking Peacock.
That's how much respect they gave fucking Starrcade. Exactly, dude. It should be a pay-per-view. It became in the NWA's and WCW's equivalent to WrestleMania. Sure, it wasn't on the same level, but it was meant to be their WrestleMania, no less.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what they do.
We shall see indeed. Anyway, so that takes us to the next matchup. It is Liv Morgan versus Zoe Stark in the Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Liv Morgan does win by pinfall with the Oblivion qualifying for the Elimination Chamber in Perth. Now, Vet, I'm not going to lie, this is the match where I just couldn't get into it, bro. Twice I tried watching it. Twice the power of the phone won.
The power of the phone.
Yes, it finally did. It worked just before. I mean, why? Tell me why I should care about Liv Morgan, dude.
Well, because she's wearing a very small outfit in this match. So
okay, that's cool. But I mean,
other than that, I got nothing really.
Yeah, she's a great piece of ass, but Zoe Stark, I think...
just watch her, Jimmy. Just watch her.
Oh, that's true. But Zoe Stark, I would have felt is the better worker. I think she's just better in every sense other than looks, clearly. But I guess I don't think so. You know what I mean? She just doesn't win matches, really.
Yeah. I mean, they've already had an investment in Liv Morgan. So I'm actually surprised. Liv Morgan has... I don't want to disrespect her by calling her a cockroach, but all I mean is that she survived a lot, you know? I mean, damn.
No, that's true. I guess.
She was dating Enzo at one point in time. You know, surviving that alone was, you know, a huge thing. So,
how you doing? Come on, bro. I love Enzo, man. I kid you not. I would love to see Enzo have another run in WWE, dude. And you can't teach that.
Too. Me too, but I'm just talking about the you know, obviously people there
his character
didn't like him. Right. Too comfortable, I think, is a word that we would have used back in my day to describe a guy like him. Too comfortable.
Way too comfortable.
Yeah.
For sure.
But that, you know, that shouldn't matter. Lots of guys in wrestling have had egos, big deal. So
right, but
I never got the hate. I see more money in that guy.
Me too.
But yeah, so you know, she would have got that heat by association just by being with him and everything, and yeah. Which actually that was probably another good source of his heat. Like, what? He's with that? God damn him, you know? Like that didn't help his case. So
well, man, he's outspoken, but you know what? He's confident, man. He believes in his own abilities, and why not? Yeah, sure, he's not a great worker in the ring, but who cares? His whole thing is his shtick. You know what I mean? Just his shtick alone, he gets you in the mood for his matches. He's like Chael Sonnen, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Chael Sonnen would always make you believe in MMA that he could kick the shit out of anybody, bro. Mm-hmm. Oh, heck, he got me, you know, sort of thinking, could he beat John Jones years ago? Like, his mouth got me believing he'd done a true Pro Wrestling 101 promo, and he knew exactly what he was doing, hence why he was always in main events. He wasn't that good. He was nowhere near on any of those guys' levels in terms of main event. I mean, he was, to me, honestly, outside of the top 10 by ability, back in a stacked division back then, right? But his mouth always got him in the main event, even though he would lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Enzo, you know, Enzo is one of those guys, man. He's not a good wrestler, but damn it, he can talk his way into a freaking promo that will make you care. You know what I mean? Because of just how good his mic work is. But anyway.
But you know what he's not, Jimmy? You know what he's not?
What is he not?
He's not a pretty girl in tiny trunks. So
I guess you're right. And he's too tiny for a male, right? I mean, shit.
And you can't teach that.
You can't teach that. Anyway, that wraps up the Elimination Chamber women's qualifier match. Next, we see Judgment Day and R-Truth are walking backstage. Truth tells JD McDonough he needs to come back to reality because he's not part of the Judgment Day. Then we see Damian Priest getting in the face of Truth and gives him a reality check, saying they've had some fun, but he's in no way part of Judgment Day. And tonight is an execution, vet, as Judgment Day make their appearance towards
Truth
the
takes
ring.
That very literally.
Literally, yeah, that's funny, man. Anyway, Pierce, though, as we come back from commercial, tries to impress on Truth that his match is right now, but Ron is busy on the phone trying to get Miz to rush to Kentucky, all the way from LA, as Adam shoves Truth out, and we're off. Which brings us to the JD McDonough versus R-Truth match. Man, I felt bad for Truth. McDonough wins by pinfall with Devil inside. Post-match, Finn Balor attacks. But Truth just suddenly ducks and fights a valiant sort of fight and decks pretty much all of Judgment Day until Damian Priest comes in. They square up and Priest then drops him after some interference from JD. They pull boots to Truth as DIY make the save with chairs in hand. Ah, man, I felt bad for Truth, but do we need DIY? I think it would have been better if they just left him in a pool of blood and we went off the commercial. No, really, I love Truth, but just for the drama. Do you know what I mean, dude? Like, just for the... You know, do you remember back in the day, bro, there was... Think of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Macho Man before WrestleMania 3, the lead-up. Right? Mm-hmm. Do you remember when Macho Man got Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with the ring bell on his throat? And Ricky the Dragon just sold that like a champ, dude. Like his neck was fucked, his throat was fucked, and then that led to the feud, you know, at WrestleMania 3. Why can't we? And you know, and remember the crowd was shocked. There was people crying in the crowd. We don't get these moments anymore, dude. You know what I mean? Why can't we get some sort of realistic, you know, drama where you literally, I know it's not going to work on us, right? But it can. Do you know what I'm saying? It can with a lot of the casual fans. And heck, look at Cody when he wrestled Dustin. Look at the psychology and the emotion in that match alone, dude. Heck, I knew it was bullshit, but god damn it, even I was invested because of just the drama and the psychology of the match. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I didn't like that match anyway because that's
no way, really.
It's one of those, because that's one of those reasons where it's like that's one of the reasons I just thought Cody is just way too, he's trying way too hard, and and just this he thinks he gets it and he doesn't, you know, and that's why I never thought him coming back to WWE would work. Things like that. He just doesn't fucking get it. It made no sense and it was stupid. I know everybody liked it, but they were wrong.
He just wanted his brother, dude.
So that's why he
wanted his brother.
Yeah, so that's what he wanted his brother, so he tried to kill him. Yeah, okay, fine. Sure.
They're both bloodied.
Just fucking whatever. So dumb. But anyway, never mind that. I see what you're saying. You're trying to get people invested in this. Problem is, for this, Truth is not going to come back serious. It's going to be comedy. Like, this is his spot now. And that's what people like. That's what people like to see. So if you use the spot, you can't use it on Truth because he's only going to come back with comedy, right? The reason that DIY is out there is not because of any other reason than, okay, well, these guys ain't, you know, we're done with these guys as far as contenders because we already decided to go with the British guys. But now we can attach them to somebody that the crowd does care about. So they're hoping that DIY, by coming out to save Truth, will get the Truth rub, and then the people will like them a little bit more. The crowd, like, they kind of like DIY because they feel like they're supposed to. They're not convinced, though. They're not fully convinced. And why should they be? So this is just their way of like trying to give them the Truth rub. I don't think it's going to work, but I can't blame him for trying at least.
It's not going to work, and I don't even like the pairings of this, to be honest, man. I couldn't care less.
And there's also the, if you had the Miz connection there, because he was at
Wouldn't that be
OVW
better?
with Ciampa, right? So
right.
like
Wouldn't
we were
it be
all there
better
at
to
the
have
same
them
time, so that at least makes sense in that way why he couldn't come here. You know why Miz isn't there, right?
Why is that?
Well, because his wife Maurice was diagnosed with some, I forget whatever, but I forget she has to have a hysterectomy for some reason. I think there's like something cancerous. Yeah. I forget the details, but you guys can look that up. Yeah. We don't report on serious stuff like that. We're more concerned with like, listening to a podcast and seeing what Bully Ray said on Busted Open Radio, like anybody gives a fuck about him. So yeah, in case you missed it, Maurice needs your support right now. So we're, hoping she has a speedy recovery. But that's why Miz is going to be probably off the road for a while, because he's going to be with her and taking care of the kids.
I have not seen no reports about that, man, at all.
Well, it gets buried with podcast recaps. Whenever you look up on the sites, you don't really see anything.
Apparently, according to Erin, she had cancer in her ovaries, you mean? I'm assuming.
I think that's what he means. Well, anyway, Jimmy, go ahead with the show and I'll pull something up.
Please, because apparently Ben spoke about it yesterday too, according to Erin. Anyway, as we come back though from commercial after that beatdown, we see Becky Lynch is shown backstage, and then we go back to another break. And then we see her making her entrance and gets on the mic. She says she just saw an interesting sign about her going to the prom in 2034 and says the road to WrestleMania has already been crazy and unpredictable, and she loves that about this. She talks about how obsessed she is about this business and how mostly great that is, but she's missed birthdays and weddings and her own father's funeral, and her daughter is only 3 years old, but she's already had to have some difficult conversations with her. But she's obsessed with getting the title back that she hasn't held in almost 2 years. And that means facing down one of the most dominant champions we've ever had around here. She says whether you love or hate either one of them, she wants to make a toast for the wild journey we're on all the way until WrestleMania. And if you have a drink or a fist, raise it in the air. This is to Rhea Ripley. Enjoy your last few weeks as champion and bottoms up. Enter Nia Jax though, vet. She knows they've had some differences, but she'd like to get in the ring and say something to Lynch. This is an Academy Award-winning performance. I'm being sarcastic now, by the way.
Why wasn't Nia wearing a salmon jacket?
Well, anyway, Becky nods, and she enters the ring saying she has so much respect for her. If her mum was half the mother she is, she'd be so lucky. God willing, though, one day she'll be a mother, and she can use Becky as an example, as she's acting like she's crying at this point. She tells Lynch she's going to win at Elimination Chamber, and there's nothing that's going to stop her, just like nothing's going to stop her from beating Rhea for the title, making it the two of them at WrestleMania. After that, enter Rhea Ripley, though, as she rushes to the ring and a brawl breaks out. Lynch with a missile dropkick on Nia, and she falls to the floor, and that's the end of that. Could we get a three-way possibly at Mania?
No.
Nope. And
unless
well,
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you can't put it past them.
Yeah, who cares? This was not the greatest.
No, it wasn't.
But that's fine. Rhea was out there, Becky was out there. I'll take it. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
So is Rhea a face, I guess, now?
Well, sometimes.
I see. So
unless
whenever
she goes backstage and handles Judgment Day business.
God damn it, man. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, it's weird that she's just not hanging around with them when they're like talking to R-Truth or any other stuff that's going on, and she's just like, well, I can't be seen with these idiots.
And so, they've pointed that out to her too, right?
Yeah, but
they've actually criticized her for that.
All right, well, hey, maybe she's gonna turn on them, or they'll turn on her. What if all those guys kick the shit out of her like they kicked R-Truth? Like,
that's not cool. But it would make her into a mega baby face though, Vet, if that was to happen. I mean, over like Rover, dude, if that was to go down, but that won't happen. Anyway, next we see Drew McIntyre is interviewed backstage. He says Cody is selfish and he's the underdog here. He had to beat AJ Styles last week just to qualify for one of the most dangerous matches in WWE. And then he'll have to win things the right way. And as he begs Cody to get himself out of their match next week. I'm liking this McIntyre sort of turn. I kind of like how he's like begging him for Cody's sake for that match not to go ahead. What do you think of Drew right now, and what's his path?
Oh, it's good. He's like a disingenuous babyface, is what he's.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, look, guys, I'm the good guy. I'm doing all these great things, and we all just know that, you know, as he says this as he's wearing the custom
shirt,
custom meme shirt with CM Punk's career in the cemetery or whatever. So,
it's funny though.
So yeah, I like that. This the part where he told Cody is like, there's two places you don't want to be, in my prayers and across the ring from me one-on-one, right?
Yeah,
great line.
He's been killing it, dude. I feel like he's gone up to the next level. He kind of reminds me of Kurt Angle in a way. If you remember when he first signed with WWE. You know, he's telling everybody, "Why are you booing me for? I'm an Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? I've done so much for this country, and you're booing an American hero." Like, I know it's not the same thing, but I'm saying in context, it's kind of the same. Like he's really a heel, but he's acting like a baby face. He's just telling the truth, right? Just in his own way. But except with Drew, he just comes across as real condescending. You know what I mean? Which I love it. Like, I like his cockiness, his arrogance, and I think it's nothing but up from here. I just hope they don't screw his road to the World Heavyweight Championship, because I felt like it was meant to be also him and Seth at Mania. I feel like suddenly everyone's forgotten that.
Well, he's still got to have that chamber match, and I don't see how Drew McIntyre does not win the chamber. I couldn't possibly see how he wouldn't win that. And 100. So that'll answer your question about what's his path.
Right.
I believe it should be Drew and Seth, and he should beat Seth and, end this ridiculous charade of Seth, because now we already don't look at this title like this title's a joke, right? And if Drew McIntyre has it, him having what we consider to be a joke title and trying to act like it's prestigious gets him even more heat. So
right.
That's perfect for his character right now to win it. That's more important right now. So
absolutely.
That's what I see. And I, people that listen to me for a long time know that I don't say a lot of nice things about Drew McIntyre. So he's totally turned me around, because there was a point where I was like, I'll never care about Drew McIntyre. But this is one of those few instances. It's happened maybe 6 or 7 times where I've been wrong. So mark it down in your calendars. Valentine's Day 2024. That was wrong. He actually does care about Drew McIntyre after all now. So good job to Drew McIntyre. I can admit when I'm wrong. I have no problem with it. It's just so rarely happens, it may seem like I never do.
I love it.
Speaking of important things, I got the Maurice thing here.
Oh, beautiful. Please tell me more.
Okay, it's a pre-cancer diagnosis that requires surgery. She had a biopsy on tissue removed from her uterus and ovaries, which had all been returned as borderline tumors. So she needs a full hysterectomy surgery and have her abdominal lymph nodes prepared for staging. Okay, so from here on, I will read what Maurice has written as Maurice, not with the accent.
Right. No, of course.
Okay, so this is all Maurice now. All 11 implants came back as serious borderline tumors, a very rare precancer of the ovaries, very sneaky and aggressive. If those became cancer, the survival rate is less than a year.
Shit.
There's only one option, and it's winning this battle. As a mom of 2 young daughters, I have to. Women get so conditioned to believe that it is normal to suffer, most often in silence, told to stop being a crybaby, that it must be hormonal imbalances, just anxiety, or just all in your head. This is not normal. The cycle has to be broken. If you get dismissed by your doctor, go see a new one until you get the help you need. Advocacy is the key. Advocate for yourself and keep pushing. Follow your instincts. Never underestimate your gut feelings. I couldn't have said it any better myself. You guys know, just like I never liked Drew McIntyre, you also know that I tell you guys, you always have to stand up for yourself. I talk about it when we talk about like speaking out issues. I talk about it when we talk about these McMahon issues. I talk about it when I talk about you at your workplace. If your boss talks down to you or anybody tries to push you around. And in times like this where your doctor's like, it's all hormones. Don't think that just because they're a doctor that they know everything, or these guys couldn't have cheated their way through medical school just to get this job or whatever. They're not just lazy motherfuckers who want to play golf or anything. Don't give anybody credit. If follow your instincts, follow your gut, go with what you feel and follow that, and it'll usually take you in the right direction. Sometimes we ignore our instincts. How many times, even on small stuff, Jimmy, how many times have you been like, oh, I should have, I should have went left, but I went right. I knew I should have went left, but I went right.
Plenty.
Or,
Plenty of times, dude.
Should have bet money on the Chiefs. I knew they were going to win, but I didn't bet any money. Should have bet money. That little instinct that tells you to do it, go with that. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. So what? But you'll regret it if it turns out in something like this. If Maurice would have listened to her doctor telling her it's all her hormones, the fuck kind of doctor is this? Just trying to get people out of his office? Like, didn't you take this job to help people? Isn't that the whole point? I mean, We see this sort of like this. I don't want to get off on like a whole rant, but anybody that goes out in the world on Earth has seen probably like the steady decline of everything, especially in the workplace. It's everything from, fast food service to fucking Maurice's doctor. Like, there's no level of workplace where everybody hasn't just fallen the fuck off. So, or like, to think of a example that hits close to home and recently, if Stevie Richards, if his wife had took no for an answer, he might not be with us anymore. So just because somebody's supposedly in a high position, don't just automatically defer to them if you have a bad feeling about it or if you have instincts. Get second opinions, get third opinions. It's a life or death situation sometimes. So
facts, man. Well said, Vet. And like Dark Sidecaster says, all the love and prayers go to Maurice. Absolutely. Medium 5 says, yep, if I didn't, I would be dead by now from 2 years ago with my neck and embolism.
Embolism, yeah.
Oh, embolism. What is an embolism? Exactly. I'm not even sure what the hell that is.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it accurately, but I'm sure he would. But the point is, he's here. Although I will say that him following his instincts has also gotten him in a little trouble. So maybe what I said doesn't always apply to me to M5, but
we love you, Mikey. It's all good, bro. Sometimes you can be, but it's all good. Yeah. No, but it's serious shit, man. And what you said is spot on, man. And I think sometimes we all got to listen to our little sort of version of us telling us, hey, man, something's not right or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But yeah, hopefully she gets better. I mean, she seems like she's caught it quick, but it's weird how it never came up on my news feed, man. I'm glad you actually told me that. So anyway, next we move on to a backstage segment where we see DIY say Miz gave them a call, and Truth says he can't believe DX made the save for him. Saying Gargano is HBK and Ciampa is Triple H, and asked them how Road Dogg is doing before thanking them again as Johnny admits he is a sexy boy as we cut away.
Yeah, Truth says, I got 2 words for you. And then the whole crowd says, suck it. And he goes, no, thank you. Yeah, see, we couldn't have got that if he had been left in a pool of his own blood.
Yeah, you know what's funny, dude? He was on Busted Open Radio recently, right? About 2 weeks ago. And when I say he kayfabed it, dude, I ain't kidding, bro. All the way through. He was just in his underwear, dude. No shit. He was making, I swear, he was making everybody laugh, man. And like the shit, like Bubba's trying to be serious while Truth is just being the gimmick, dude, all the way through. It's actually, you guys should check it out if you guys haven't already. It was about 2 weeks ago. He's on Busted Open Radio. He's a fucking funny guy. I mean, he keeps it real all the way, even to his own friends, man. He'll even act like he doesn't know what Bubba was talking about. But anyway, we go to the next matchup, though. It is another Elimination Chamber qualifying matchup between Ivar and LA Knight. Yeah. This one was going to be obvious. LA Knight does win, of course. Like, why wouldn't he? He wins by pinfall via the BFT qualifying for the Elimination Chamber in Perth. Again, look, I just want to say this brand split is getting out of hand now. I mean, it's definitely Raw Super Show all over again. It has to be. I mean, how many friggin'... I know we're doing this because of Elimination Chamber, but come on, man. It's getting just ridiculous now. Every week we've got all of Raw and SmackDown on each other's shows. Can we just call it a Super Show now? Can we go there?
Wild card rule.
Yeah. Well, oh, yes. The wild card. They didn't even use that, bro.
They didn't even use the wild
anymore.
card. Oh,
they don't even care anymore. It's like, who cares? Don't worry, no one cares. But I do care. Because, again, why do this shit if you're not going to stick by it? And they really haven't stuck by it. Once every 2 weeks, no shit, a Raw or SmackDown guy is on each other's show. I mean, what is this? Like,
maybe there's a soft dissolution of the brand split. Maybe we don't care about that anymore, even though you still have separate GMs somehow.
Well, yeah. Well, they're on the same page now, actually, Van. Suddenly, so
it's totally different. Yeah.
Well,
I did notice in this match where Valhalla was sitting on the ring apron and Ivar went up for his big moonsault and she just assumed that he hit it and LA Knight moved and then like he hit the blunt force trauma on Ivar and then she like slowly turns around like,
like Kim Allen.
Yeah. Before we get any further, I don't remember. This is a long show, but last week when we did a Machismo, whoever wrote up this cage side seats totally left out the Sami Zayn sitting in the arena with Jackie, and that was kind of an important deal. At least it was certainly more important than some of the stuff that they covered on it. But they left that out. But like, did they already do the thing on this? Like, had that already happened in the show where he was sitting in there doing like a part two of the interview and then
they left it out. They actually left it out. Thank you for reminding me, man. Because
oh my god, what is this guy got? He was Sami Zayn?
I have no idea. That's 2 weeks in a row, dude. That's strange, man. Yeah, it's not,
what's this guy's name? I want his name right now on the air.
That's a good question. I'll tell you right. You know what, man? I don't think it's... Wait, let me go to the start for a moment. His name is... Oh, it's
right now
chick,
would be a
dude.
good time for it. It doesn't matter what his name is, but it does because that's what we're trying to do.
Well, Claire Elizabeth is the name. Cage side seats. Never heard of her.
You said Claire Elizabeth?
Claire Elizabeth. Yeah. I mean, CLAIRE.
Two first names. Can't trust it.
Yeah.
Claire.
Can't trust it.
It's a fat
Elizabeth. You know what, dude? Claire is a fat chick's name. I mean, yeah. I mean, when you think about it, no offense to fat cheeks. I mean, come on, look at me.
It's just a line from the Breakfast Club, but still, Claire, whether you're skinny, fat, in between, whatever, you need to write the part where Sami Zayn's on the show. You don't get to just leave Sami Zayn off the show.
I'm literally trying to see if I've skimmed past it by some reason, but I haven't. I mean, I legitimately haven't. I'm trying to see where it's at, and it's not.
Unless it's still coming up, but I thought it already happened by now.
Yeah, it would have 100%. It happened midway through the show. I'm pretty sure. I'm literally trying to see if it's there. It's not there, man.
Well, let's just continue and.
Well, I just want to point out, I actually didn't mind this, but I'm glad you reminded me. Essentially, you see Sami Zayn, you know, before Raw was on the air. This is during the day. You know, no one was in the arena. The empty arena interview. she's basically asking him what's the road hold for Sami after losing to Orton this past week on SmackDown and not being able to enter the Elimination Chamber. And he pretty much said he's embarrassed when he loses after he says, he promises everyone that he's going to win. So he gets sometimes where he feels like everybody else, like a loser at times where you don't want to show up to work and you don't want to show your face because you feel embarrassed. But he's got confidence in himself and he, holds his head up high and has no reason to feel that way. And then Shinsuke just interrupted out of the blue. What was he essentially saying, man? He was bringing up some past shit. But I forgot really what Nakamura was really saying, man, because I wasn't reading everything at the time. But essentially, he's saying he's going to whoop his ass, I guess. Mm-hmm. And just bringing up some past issues and whatnot. And asking Sami if he remembers all those times and whatnot.
Yeah, he said he had all his moments. And he's sitting here feeling sorry for himself. But he didn't say it in like a motivational friend way. He said it in like...
No.
You're so stupid you don't even realize what you have, so I'm going to take it from you. And Sami Zayn the whole time is selling the fact that the voice is coming out of the PA system. Like, huh?
So
where is he? And he's like on the screen.
He's on the Tron, literally. How
with
dumb.
Subtitles.
Why is he looking around? With subtitles, true. I mean, maybe because he's French-Canadian,
Yeah.
He needs subtitles for Japanese. Who knows?
Nakamura is a French-Canadian?
Yeah, he's from Oski or some shit.
Okay.
He's Japan, No, but for real, do you think it's offensive in a way that they do that with some Japanese wrestlers? Sure, if he's talking Japanese, why not? But even if they talk English with subtitles, do you think that would drag the confidence down of you trying to talk English, say?
I wonder if they know, because obviously to them, they're just getting filmed. They don't see it.
True.
But like if they watch the show back, which why would they? Why would anybody watch this? Why are we watching this? Let's end the show right now. But no, maybe they don't know, but I mean, it's a little bit, if they're speaking English and you're just basically assuming that you can't understand them, then yeah, Andrade didn't get it, right? So
he was at one stage in AEW, they gave him.
Yeah, they did. They did there.
Right.
But...
Whoops. It's like Medium 5 says, it's English. English. God damn it. I know, look at us, man. I mean, English is hard for people that don't know English, man. It is what it is, but it's supposed to be the easiest language to learn. But it's not easy depending on what language you speak. Anyway, let's go back, though, to the show. That was essentially the rundown. And you're right, 2 weeks in a row, for whatever reason, maybe there is heat with Sami. Anyway, we do see Sami Zayn. He's walking backstage when he runs into Drew McIntyre. McIntyre tells him to keep his name out of his mouth and his nose out of his business, as Sami tells him he's on his way. I mean, that he's in his way, and Drew makes... Yeah, sorry, I misread it. He's in his English way, and Drew makes a big show. Yeah, I know, for me even right now. And makes a big show of stepping aside as we go to the break. I mean, Drew's being a big bully. I mean, he's already... How many times has he taken out Sami already? What's his problem with Sami? Why does he still care about Sami Zayn?
I don't know. Maybe he's friends with Claire Elizabeth.
Maybe. Well, anyway, we go to commercial and we come back. We see Adam Pearce is chatting with Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell when Chelsea Green rushes in to demand a spot in the last chance battle royal for the women's elimination chamber. Pearce says he's got hard decisions to make, and then Green whines about it, demanding a singles match. And then we see Shayna Baszler rolling up to offer happily to ruin her dreams. So I guess that's on SmackDown.
Well, again, Claire didn't do this justice because Chelsea Green was going into a full bitchy promo about
I love it, man.
How they shouldn't be letting nobodies like Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler in this. She has to be in a battle royal with nobodies like that, and basically burying them as they walk up behind her. So it was well done.
Oh no, she's great, dude. I mean, I love to see her as the hot mess again because she's done it so well. It's so typical Chelsea Green in many ways, but she plays the Karen so well. What do you think of Chelsea Green, actually, Vet? Do you like the way they're using her, or they could
Sure.
be better?
No, it's
Right.
fine. It's fine. She can do that. I never did like the hot mess. Because it's stupid. The whole thing is stupid. Like,
yeah,
what,
it doesn't belong
what
in
is
wrestling.
Either she's worn the same clothes and makeup for 6 months,
Well, yeah.
or she
Yeah.
puts on a new dirty dress and new makeup and smears it every single day, which neither one of those makes sense.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cuckoo.
Yeah, so
If
that
she
whole
did
thing
that.
is, that whole thing is really dumb, and I never liked it. And she's not acting like a real person. Here,
True.
she's acting like there are people that act like this. At least she's being a parody
absolutely.
of people that really do act like this.
Right,
Maybe
right,
she's
for sure.
playing it up a lot, but it's more entertaining to me just seeing her do this. In fact, they don't let her do it enough. In fact, she should be all over the show complaining about stuff that even has nothing to do with her. You know?
That'd be funny. Yeah, even like male related shit where she just stops people, like being a Karen, man, just being a full blown Karen, take it to the next level where she's just bitching about absolutely everything.
If she said if she walked by DIY and said, "Oh, by the way, when you guys ran out there to save our truth from whatever, you knocked over my latte and I need a new one," or something, whatever, just something to get her on the screen for a few seconds and just
But she cracks
get
the
involved
shit,
with
though.
everybody.
Right. Where she throws another cup of something at him and make him replace it. Even if she threw it, like, picture that. Wouldn't that be funny? She throws her cup, just say it was a latte. And then, she's like, get me a new one now. Like, I want it now. Like,
Yeah,
that'd be
she knocked
fucking
over my
funny.
latte. I need another one, and then throw it and be like, make that 2.
That would be awesome. Anyway, fucking, she's just a laugh, dude. She makes me laugh. Anyway, we're finally on the main event.
Plus, she has a cool
Vet.
hat. Sorry.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, really, she's pretty classy, bro. You know what I mean? She does classy pretty well, and she does just whatever. I think she's a lot better than people give her credit for. She's not that good in the ring, but she can get by. You know what I mean? Even with the comedic sort of character that she has right now. Anyway, it's main event time, Vet. It is Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, look, I'm a fan of both these guys, but I'm sick of fucking Nakamura being in the main event all the time, and most of the times loses, but not in this case. He wins by pinfall.
He's no Daniel Garcia, Jimmy.
No, I know, but god damn it, man. Why are you going to have him in the main event all the time just to lose all the time? He wins via Kinshasa right now.
Yeah.
And that's great. But
Yeah.
it makes even Sami Zayn just, they've called him off so bad. It's weird, dude. It's awkward. I don't see much going on with Sami moving forward for months. Honestly, I don't.
Yeah, Judgment Day has done nothing with the tag team championships, and
Nothing, dude.
like him and whatever. Who won? Was it him and Kevin Owens, right? Or
Yep.
yeah. But even
it
just
was.
him and Jay having like a run with the tag team titles would be good still. So
They did. While do you remember, like, he took over from Jimmy for a little bit, and they won the tag bouts again when it was Sammy and Jay.
yeah, it would have been
Which is
nice
cool.
to do something with that. Whatever, I don't know, but yes, he hasn't been the same. This match was fine, but it wasn't. It was no 2016 NXT.
Oh no,
if
that was a
that's-
fucking great match. I loved that. I'll never forget that. When Nakamura debuted in NXT, and the whole crowd knew exactly who he was, which got me even more hyped at the time. That Sami Nakamura match, I don't think we'll ever see a match on that level ever again from either one of
that's
those
probably
two.
that's probably the number one NXT match of all time. I would
Oh,
say.
easy, dude, right up there. I mean, there's a few, but that match, it still stands out in my mind right now.
Yeah,
And
if you guys never seen that, or if you haven't seen it since it happened, go back and revisit that match. 2016,
Oh.
whatever it was, whatever
was
the
Brooklyn, I
debut of
think.
Nakamura was.
I think it was the Brooklyn one, the first
Okay.
NXT takeover Brooklyn. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure because Liger, I'm pretty sure, was also on that show against Prince Pretty.
I think that was a different one.
You sure? Okay.
I'm not sure,
All
but I
right.
think it was. But anyway, definitely check that out. But this match wasn't really that. I didn't really like. I think he Kinshasa Sammy in the back of the head, and Sammy kicked out. I didn't really like that either.
Yeah,
But
at this point, they do this shit practically all the time, it feels like.
yeah, but at least they didn't beat Nakamura a fourth time. So
Thank God.
yeah.
But
So I don't know.
there's not
This
really.
depending on where they're going with Sammy, this could mean something. But right now we don't really know. We just have to take it at face value that Sammy lost, but then some stuff happened afterwards too, right?
Yes. Post match, Nakamura and McIntyre both beat Zayn down until Cody Rhodes makes a save. And a Cody Cutter sends Drew packing and Crossroads lays Shinsuke out. And that's the show, folks. And see, this is what's annoying also, Vent, as we close the show. You know, we were speaking about messes earlier, but why is there so much going on with all sorts of different... like, there's so many side quests going on right now, too, for Cody, right? For example, because, you know, he had to return the favor for Sami after Sami done it for him on SmackDown. Or was it Raw? I can't even remember. No, it was Raw last week. The week before, where he, you know, made the save. For whatever reason, he was at Raw and not, you know, he's pretty much at Raw every week now at this point. And Cody on these side quests kind of annoys me, even with the Shinsuke feud. After their first match, I know we had the bull rope match the week before, but did it feel like a climax of a feud that didn't really exist? Like, it was just words, dude. Like, there wasn't really any context to the feud.
Yeah, I don't really. I think they were trying to make something out of it, something that wasn't there.
Right, exactly.
Give Nakamura something to do because they don't. I guess they don't know what to do with him right now. They definitely know what they want to do with Cody right now.
Definitely.
But they just need something for TV, which I'm an advocate for. I say that TV main events should be kind of their own angles sometimes. You know, especially like, you know how AEW has a pay-per-view and then they'll cram 20 matches onto it. But some of those matches should be main events on their TV. Instead, it's Daniel Garcia in those main events all the time. So
right.
I'm a big fan of you being able to say, hey, yeah, this is our, you know, it would happen a lot with like, you know, like Walter, you know, if you get a big Intercontinental Championship defense, like that would be like the main event of SmackDown or the main event of Raw. It'd be like a big deal. It doesn't have to be on the pay-per-view.
No, but see, with Walter, they don't really do like a storyline going into that title match, if that makes sense.
Well,
Whereas
because you don't need one.
Right. Exactly.
The storyline is that he's the champion who's just waiting to be defeated. So that is a story in and of itself.
Right, and that's why that works compared to
I don't mind Cody and all his side quests. I actually want more people to have side quests. Well, we were just talking about Chelsea Green needs to have side quests. Everybody needs to be interacting with everybody else to keep things interesting, because to be backstage at a wrestling locker room, it has its own atmosphere. And you can maybe convey parts of that to the TV viewing audience at home. Like, yeah, these guys are, you know, guys that get in a fight out in the middle of the ring. So what happens when they all go back in the back? Are they going to stop fighting now? So you need to create the environment and make that interesting, I think. So having lots of stuff going on or seeing people multiple times throughout the night, I like that. I don't have a problem with it.
Okay, cool. Interesting. I like how you gave that answer, man, because for me, I just feel like about his story, The Rock and, you know, and Triple H and Seth Rock. There's a lot going on with Cody right now. That's all I'm saying. So he's got so many paths.
But here's the thing. Well, here's the thing. So we know him and Sami, right? Like, we know they're cool already. And just because he's got a thing with The Rock and Roman and those other guys, but those guys aren't here. True. So Cody needs something to do because he's still got to show up to work, and those guys didn't. So now here at work, he's at work, and Sami Zayn is getting beat up. So of course he's going to run out there. Right. No, so it's like, it makes sense. It would make less sense if he didn't help Sami because he's already there. So
that's how I look at it. No, that's fair enough, man, for sure. But
somebody's got to care about Sami. Clearly, Claire Elizabeth doesn't care, so somebody has to care.
Is it I don't know why 2 weeks in a row that's happened, but I'm glad you reminded me because I would have forgotten it myself, even though it's self-consciously in my mind. Anyway, you're right. They need to do something with Sami. What they do, I have no idea. I feel like Kevin Owens is in that same boat, except right now he's got his thing with Logan Paul and whatnot. But still, I think they've ran out of ideas with Kevin Owens. But that's a different show. So that leaves us to grading it, Vet. I think we should take it home. So in saying that, Vet, what would you grade this show? This one's a little bit of a up and down one for me.
I will give this show, God, it's teetering on a B minus C plus. I don't know which it's more. Is there something in between? Could I give it a BC for just because? Like,
Yeah, well, I guess you could, a BC. I mean, maybe the first half of the show was a B for you, and then it C'd itself out by the end of the show.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, you know, the stuff that I missed, I think it was fine. I mean, I kind of saw and heard pretty much everything, and I just, you know, there's some things I'm just not going to care about. But even those things that I don't care about, it doesn't mean that I'm saying, ugh, why is this on television? I'm just saying it's not going to grab me. That's all. But I don't have a problem with Liv Morgan having a match. I don't have a problem with, you know, Ivar and LA Knight. The people got to see LA Knight and say, yeah, a bunch of times. That's what they wanted. You know, there's lots of stuff, even the stuff that's predictable. Even the stuff that's a mess. Like, and none of it was just terrible. So that's already a step up. There's some stuff on the shows that we review that's just terrible. And Raw doesn't really have any terrible stuff. It may have a little bit of boring stuff and a little bit of stuff that's like, why'd you do that? And maybe some nitpicks here and there. But overall, it's pretty good. So I guess I'll give it a B minus after all.
I'll say C plus. Because last week's Raw was so much better than this week. I felt like I enjoyed last week's a lot more than this week. I think last week we gave him B's all the way around. So yeah, I'm going to say C plus. Wasn't a bad show. Wasn't a great show though. But it was still better than SmackDown, funny enough. And SmackDown is starting to become a bit of a chore with just 2 hours of programming, which is odd. So yeah,
and that's
Raw
with
is
them
definitely
sticking in recaps and wasting time here and there.
Which they doing so much more than what they do it on Raw, man. And considering SmackDown is way less time, those recaps really hinder the show. It feels like it's going a lot longer. I don't know why SmackDown is taking a back seat for now, but I guess we're starting off hot this coming week with, you know, The Rock and Roman Reigns joining the crew for Friday night. So we'll see, but it'll probably still suck anyway. So, yeah, C plus for me. Well, Vet, in saying that, man, tell them where they can find you, brother.
Well, I'm an HMG guy, so you can find me all over HMG. Different shows, Next Level Wrestling Review with Big Ray Hernandez every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. You got the Impact Attack, just freshly recorded many hours ago with Brandon. That's every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern live. And then you got, of course, the show Jimmy T and I have been doing where after the collision we sift through
the wreckage
every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. So those are the shows you can find me on Hami Media Group, as well as any other appearances I may make. Maybe it could be a Monday Locker Room appearance or any other things that we might have going on. I might be there. At Opinion Haver on all social media platforms and any platforms where somebody has a name. It's at Opinion Haver for me. And yes, check out Wrestling with Rip Rogers every Friday at whatever concrete time they do their show. They had the One Man Gang on this past Friday, and they were doing their 2-year anniversary of Wrestling with Rip Rogers. So celebrate with them every Friday and ask Rip a question. And then Stevie Richards with his million channels, and it's hard to keep up with them all, but we'll keep trying. So follow Stevie Richards at everything he does.
And he does literally everything. Literally. You know what was cool before we go, Vet? I was just in forums on Reddit, and I came across the Right to Censor forum, and how everybody was talking so positively about Steve Richards and him being part of the Hall of Fame and whatnot. And they would love to see him do another Right to Censor run. How cool would it be, and how relevant would it be if there was a Right to Censor run right now in WWE? I know it won't happen, but it would be pretty cool to see.
I don't know if I want to see him in Right to Censor anymore, but I would like to see him go in the Hall of Fame this year because he's a Philly guy and it's in Philly and it's the biggest WrestleMania. So I really think it would be cool to do that. I think they should make it happen. But I think Stevie Richards he's too much of a babyface to go back to the Right to Censor. And that shit doesn't even make sense anymore. It was a product of its time. I don't want to see that. We should all just enjoy current Stevie.
No, I agree, definitely, man. Like, it would be cool just for one-off run here and there, but like you said, Stevie's too much of a babyface as a person. There is no nicer guy in the world of pro wrestling, in my opinion, than Stevie Richards, man, really. I mean, he's just so approachable and so humble, man. I can't say nothing bad about Stevie Richards, man. So, no, you're spot on. But go and check out his stuff. He literally he covers everything from electronics to pro wrestling to reviews of all sorts of stuff and even fitness. Stevie Richards Fitness, that is. So go check him out.
Yeah, but he's going to have a video premiering on Wednesday because he has his video premieres every Wednesday. So when you're done watching the Next Level Wrestling review, you can go to his channel and see a brand new video. And this week it's going to be covering the match between Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Ooh. So, we're going way back for that as well.
School,
Funny enough. Mm-hmm. The Hammer. Greg the Hammer Valentine. I used to like the Hammer back in the day. Remember his figure 4 with the gimmick on his shin?
Yep. And he would turn it around backwards.
Yeah.
He had a shin guard. He would turn it around backwards.
See, I know it doesn't do nothing, but it's little things like that, you know, as a kid back then, that made you believe that shit, you know, that shin guard really fucked you up, man, doing the figure 4 leg lock. But anyway, that was the good old days. Because it feels like there's no such thing as drama like that anymore, bro, or selling anything when you really think about it. But anyway, in saying that, if you want to follow me on the Twitter, you can at DJ MassFX. Also, you can follow us at the PWC Network. Like and subscribe right here at the pwcnetwork.podbean.com, where you can find all of our shows when it comes to the PWC Network. Also, like and subscribe at HamimMediaGroup.podbean.com for our affiliate shows, and at channelattitude.com, where for $5 not only do you get the realest talk, but the best talk in all of pro wrestling. And that's a wrap, vet. So in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is the vet, Jamie Williams. And you've been listening and watching the PWC Monday Night Machismo on a Tuesday morning right here on the PWC Network. And we're out. Peace.
The PWC Network. What the world is watching and listening to.